Story 1. If I meet my husband outside the house unexpectedly, even though we work in neighboring companies, my heart still beats fast, and I feel very happy. Story 2. I glance at him occasionally and silently appreciate him, as I still find him physically attractive. Story 3. Love is a choice. After the first 2 years of bliss fade away, love isn't just rainbows and unicorns. It's laundry and dirty dishes. You start noticing their quirks, the way they never put enough seasoning on the food, or how they leave the toothpaste cap half screwed on as if it's some kind of negotiation. Meanwhile, you resist the urge to remind them for the 27th time that dirty towels go in the hamper, not near it, and that dishes don't magically hop into the washer like trained performers. When they're irritable, you choose to give them grace because everyone has bad days. When you're having a bad day, you choose not to unload it all on them just because they're closest. And when an attractive stranger gives you that look, you don't start mentally drafting your escape plan. You think about the life you've built, the children who have your partner's smile, the inside jokes, the memories, and the times you've held each other up when everything felt like it was falling apart. Love isn't perfect, but neither is the other person smiling at you. It's a choice to endure the bad times and laugh again in the good ones. A choice to nurture your own relationship instead of wondering how appealing it looks on the other side. So no, you don't just know if you're still in love. You either focus on the flaws and let it slip away, or you choose every day to love them through the good and the bad. Story 4. I think I just enjoy being in each other's company, wanting to share my day with him and missing his presence when he's away for work. Story 5. You feel a warm, fuzzy sensation when you see them. You feel more relaxed when they are around compared to when they are not. You want to share everything you have experienced since you last saw them. Story 6. You cannot imagine your life without them. You see them and think, today is already a good day. Your favorite person is here. You're not looking for perfection. They possess qualities you lack, and you have ones they desire. You don't have to be together, you just want to be. You're seeking kindness, attraction, loyalty, and respect. Physical intimacy can be the glue that holds it all together, but everything else must work well, too. You don't need to be the same or think alike. Do everything together in unison, or never be apart. However, you do need to value the same things, and it all needs to be mutual. One person cannot love enough for two. Story 7. Love becomes a choice more than pure attraction. I was in love with my husband in the early months of dating. Over time, I grew to love him, and then I decided to stay with him and embrace life together. He is my family now. Story 8. I want to be around her all the time. We are apart outside of work during the week, and we don't exercise together. I meditate, she does yoga, but I would always rather be with her than alone or with other people, even close friends. I love her, and sometimes it makes me cry thinking about how much she means to me. She is my life. Story 9. For me, it's the way I still look at my wife and feel lucky to have her. After 17 years together, she's still my best friend, my biggest supporter, and the person I want to share everything with. We laugh, we talk, and we enjoy the little moments. There's no one else I'd rather spend my time with. That constant connection and genuine appreciation remind me I'm still deeply in love with her. Story 10. You feel it. Even if you are having problems, you are still happy to just be with them. I believe that love is not a passive experience beyond the early stages. You need to nurture and care for love so it grows, flourishes, and continues. It's easy to get distracted by the everyday matters. Story 11. You think about them. For example, if I feel like getting a burger, I will message my wife to see if she wants one too. I will ask how her day is going or if she needs anything while I am out. This is called caring and wanting to share my experiences or time. In the winter, you start the car for them, shovel the walkway, help with chores, and especially be supportive when they are sick. She does my laundry and mostly handles cooking. Joking and laughing come easily when you know the other person cares about you. It builds upon itself. Story 12. When I think about him, even if it is not a good day for us, I still believe he is the best, and I feel fortunate that we have each other. Story 13. Usually, people who have to ask this question are either not in love or only realize they were after they lose them. To anyone struggling with this thought, I advise you to step back into the moment instead of staying in your own head. Story 14. Even when I am infuriated with her, I cannot imagine my life without her. I have adjusted physically to losing a finger, but I cannot fathom how I would adjust emotionally to losing her. Life before her feels like an unimportant blur. Story 15. I look at her and feel a surge of emotions, appreciating and being grateful that she could love someone like me. She chose me and stayed no matter what, even when I had nothing, and I am thankful for this every day we are together. This is how I know. Story 16. Love changes. After 39 years, it is not the same love experience. It is deeper, and it is a different connection from when we were first together. He is my safe place, my biggest cheerleader, and my strongest supporter. I have had many health issues over the past 5 years, and he has kept me positive and has never given up on me. I believe I would have given up on myself. You cannot imagine being with anyone else. Story 17. Love is not just a noun. It is also a verb. The two meanings are both correlative and codependent. When you feel love, you give it freely. When you perform actions that express love from a loving place, you still possess it. Do you understand? Story 18. We express our love every time we part ways to do something, and I truly feel it each time. We've had arguments in the past where one person would walk off without saying, "I love you," and that felt terrible. Story 19. I miss him. When my ex used to call and said he had to work late, I got excited. When my husband calls and says he has to work late, I feel sad and miss him. Story 20. I have been with my wife for 26 years. She is still the most attractive woman I have ever seen. She is kind, generous, and thoughtful. She always maintains a positive outlook and has no negativity in her demeanor. She is also a wonderful mother. I cannot imagine anyone else. I feel truly blessed. What is even more amazing is that she feels the same way about me. Story 21. I love seeing him come home every day. I worry about him when he is out driving. He makes me smile and laugh, and it is just nice being with him. Story 22. What most people are expressing is that when each day is spent performing acts of love, that love becomes a normal and quiet presence in the background. It doesn't need to be monitored or adjusted. It simply exists. If there is worry, examine your actions to see how love is demonstrated each day. I'm sincere when I say that small gestures have a significant impact. Story 23. If something happens in her life that makes her happy, I feel as close to being equally happy as is humanly possible, and the reverse is also true. I take that as an indication that we are still as much a part of our two-person team as we were when we first fell in love and married almost 48 years ago. While the exact nature of this love may have changed over the years, given that the intense passion of the honeymoon phase is impossible to maintain, this is more than compensated for by our continuing to learn new things about each other. I see the joy in learning new things as a reliable indicator that our love for each other is still growing, which makes me feel younger than my actual age whenever we are together, or even when I think of her. In the most basic terms, I am continually aware of how much her being the major part of my life improves it and often seems to make my life possible. Story 24. He is my best friend, and I look forward to our late-night conversations where we talk about anything and everything. He makes even the most mundane activities enjoyable. We still make each other laugh all the time. He respects and values me as much as I respect and value him. Love is like a beautiful flower. It is beautiful, but just looking at it doesn't reveal all the tending and care it has received. If you don't take care of the flower, it withers and dies. If there is something rotten at the root of the flower, then no amount of care can keep it beautiful. Tending to love requires effort from everyone involved, but if you keep putting in effort without receiving anything in return, perhaps the roots are rotten, and it is time to find a new plant. Story 25. I miss him when he is at work. He is my best friend for real. Also, the hugs and kisses still melt me, even after 13 years. Story 26. Sometimes I see my wife naked, and I'm impressed by how cute she looks. She is kind and cares about our family more than anything, which makes her a wonderful person to have in my life. Story 27. I don't wear my glasses inside the gym. I can see okay, but nothing more than 5 feet away from me clearly. Anytime I see a guy and think, damn, he's cute, it's my husband. Story 28. I left work a bit later than usual one day and saw my wife pulling into Aldi. My heart skipped a beat, and I was excited about surprising her. She held my arm and hugged me a lot while we were shopping. Although we do that all the time at home, it felt like high school all over again that day. It was not just a Tuesday. Story 29. He makes me feel safe, warm, and comfortable. Cuddle from him shuts out all the noise. We have been together for 22 years, and he is my best friend. He still likes my body after all this time, which is fortunate because I still like his too. Story 30. The thought of not having him in my life makes me incredibly depressed and heartbroken. If I'm having a bad day and one of our children makes him laugh, hearing his laugh immediately brightens my day. I watch him while he is doing something and I just stare at his features, reflecting on how much we are growing together and how much he has changed, and my love for him grows. We have 2 little boys, and I see his face in them. There's not much wife left in me at the end of the day, being a mom all day, but when I get a hug from him or snuggle up close when he finally comes to bed and puts his arm around me, I still feel that giddy sensation of being in love, the feeling I had when we first met. I wrote a note to remember exactly what he looked like, what he was wearing, and what we did on our first date. I read it from time to time whenever we have an argument or if I'm just sad. Story 31. We go out of our way to make each other happy. I love her smile. Whether I am doing small things around the house or planning a trip, I just want to see her smile, so I do these things for her. She does the same for me all the time. Story 32. I take the time to find one thing that makes me love them more every day and can always find something. Story 33. My husband and I have been married for 18 years. I still want to talk to him first, to hold him and for him to hold me. He is literally my best friend. I also believe in choice. Love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice. If we relied solely on feelings, I believe everyone would be divorced and no one would make their relationships work. You have to choose to love your partner. It's an essential part of the relationship and the effort involved. That's my personal point of view. Story 34. You feel it. I've tried to think of a simple name for the feeling, but I'm not sure there is one beyond love. Here is my attempt. You know that feeling of extreme, unencumbered joy that comes when you are laughing uncontrollably? That heavy door that only opens when it is truly safe and you're free to be yourself without judgment in how you look, sound, or act. Where every single one of your senses is immersed in the ease of pure happiness. I've met people who have had the right key but couldn't open the door. I've met people who have had the strength to open the door but had the wrong key. And I've met people who've had both but could only keep it open for a brief moment before it slammed shut. My partner is the only person who has had both the key and strength to keep it open, and they're the only person I would ever want to. That's how I know I'm still in love with them. Story 35. Most people in a long-term relationship either tolerate each other or genuinely enjoy each other's company. I truly enjoy being around my wife. When I am away for more than a day, I start to miss her a lot. Story 36. You get used to having a partner. Then one day you think about dying first and realize you live your life for your other half. You want to do everything to make their life easier. It's an eye-opening experience, especially if you have been somewhat selfish or narcissistic. Story 37. The same way you would know if you are not anymore. You are or you are not. Love, especially being in love, is not something that can be quantified. Only you know whether you are or not. Story 38. Well, this isn't the only way, and it might sound strange, but when I daydream about unusual scenarios, like if I could go back in time with all the knowledge I have now in my mid-40s, I consider all the things I would do differently. I think about my interactions with my parents, schoolwork, the college I attended, the career I chose, and the investments I missed out on. However, in those daydreams, I still choose my wife as the person I would pursue and marry, even as a billionaire who knows how the next 40 years would unfold. Story 39. I got home from work yesterday and didn't see my wife's car parked on the street, so I assumed she was out doing something. Then I noticed it parked a little ways down and got excited that she was home. I guess that's just how things go sometimes. Story 40. When I hug him, everything inside me settles. There is no more stress or disquiet. He is joy and contentment, even when he is challenging. Story 41. We express our love for each other often, so I don't think we'll ever question it. We share what we appreciate about one another as it arises. We're never too cool to be open and sincere about our feelings. It's not just what she says. The way her face lights up and her voice sings leaves no doubt about how she feels. Story 42. Read How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. It is a beautifully written work that will help you understand love and how to recognize it. Story 43. You miss them and wonder what they are up to. It's the smiles exchanged that matter. Never take it for granted. Relationships require effort and attention. Story 44. I have been with my wife for 13 years and married for 11. In addition to all the other responses here, I recently realized, after getting back into playing ice hockey, that the things in life I enjoy, which she is not directly a part of, are not enjoyable to me if I do not get to tell her about them. Story 45. Going home and seeing my husband is my favorite part of any day. I would rather sit on the couch and do nothing with him than do anything with anyone else. When he is not with me, I think about him and hope he is having a good day. When he has a bad day and is in a foul mood, I just want to make it better. I may not fix it or make it okay, but I want to make it better. When I wake up in the middle of the night, the first thing I do is check that he is still next to me. Story 46. When I wake up each day, I smile because I am waking up next to him. I think about him constantly. Everything I do, I want to do with him. I feel a sense of calm and peace just by looking at him. I know I am still in love with him because the thought of him not being in my life devastates me. Story 47. We have been together for 18 years, and I still count the minutes until he gets off work so I can see him. I still feel a rush of joy that flows through my entire body when he kisses me, even if it's just on my cheek. Story 48. I feel a surge of excitement every time I see my wife, even after we have been separated for only a few hours. That's how I know. 25 years this November. Story 49. I guess for most people it does turn into a routine, almost like a roommate situation. However, it's those rare or important moments that you share, where you know you can be honest and vulnerable with each other, that make it worthwhile. Story 50. How do you define in love? Are you referring to the intense emotions where you can't stand to be apart? Or are you talking about the amazing, deep connection that comes from profound love, acceptance, and support? For me, it's that deep connected feeling. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else. Story 51. It is actually good and healthy to forget about wondering. Many people are obsessed with labeling and ranking, but that is the best way to live a superficial and unsatisfactory life. Story 52. I don't question my love for them. I strive to improve for them and for myself each day. This could involve health, setting goals, academics, finances, and more. Story 53. My random silent appreciation for the face of that person and the thought of them whenever we're apart. I just know it's better with that someone. Story 54. I miss him when he is at work. I want to tell him everything first. I enjoy being around him. He is my best friend. Story 55. When I'm out without him, I usually think something like, oh, he'd love this place, food, or activity, and make a mental note to bring him next time. Story 56. There is no one who could even compare. I know that I have the best of the best in every aspect. 13 years together, and every year that goes by solidifies this even more. Story 57. I love them, not all the time, but I always do. Long-term relationships require you to go with the ebb and flow of things. We have experienced rough periods and great ones. They come and go. What matters is whether you are prepared to find your way back to each other and if that person is worth fighting for. For me, she always is. Story 58. I had a dream that I was single and dating someone else. Then I ran into my spouse and felt happy and peaceful. Story 59. Because my favorite thing in the world is coming home from work and giving my wife a hug. It washes away my entire day. Story 60. I am happy when I see him. I want to give him hugs. I feel a little wistful if I am doing something enjoyable and he is not there as well. Story 61. Last night, we were heading home from the gym when I saw him at the front lobby. I thought, you have the cutest face. Story 62. It has been 30 years. I am not saying that everything has been perfect, but I feel unhappy when I imagine life without her. Story 63. I am not aroused without first being emotionally connected. I know that when my wife makes me stand up, I am still very deeply in love with her. Story 64. My husband comes home between 7 o'clock and 7:30 p.m. I am sometimes home by that time and sometimes still at work. Once I see that it is 7 o'clock, my only thought is about him having reached home, how his day was, what I need to tell him, and everything else. We end up talking on the phone between 7 o'clock and 7:30 if I haven't reached home by then. We have been together for 8.5 years and married for 4. Story 65. I want to share every little thing with him, even if it seems trivial. After a long time, there aren't many topics we can discuss that haven't been talked about before. So when I discover something interesting, I can't wait to share it with him and talk about it. He does the same. We discuss our interests when we see each other after work. We also remember what the other likes when we are in the store and buy it as a little surprise. Even after all these years, I am still surprised to find my favorite soda in the fridge that he remembered I liked 5 years ago. Story 66. I guess my answer might be different because I don't feel love all the time. I love my mom in a way I could only ever love my mom, but it's not every day or every second I'm in her presence that I'm aware of some overwhelming love for her. With my partner, I love him like I've not loved anyone else. But it's true we have more of a routine now, so I'm not giddy at the mere idea of spending time with him, which is a feeling I never liked anyway. Butterflies, to me, are just anxiety and self-consciousness. He just makes me feel better, comfortable, and comforted. If something upsets me, he's who I go to, and it's always been the right choice. He helps around the house, which is the bare minimum, but as someone used to living alone or with ineffective roommates my entire adult life, it is a nice change of pace. I feel like I keep saying he's my best friend, but he really is. Even more so than the women I've known for longer than I've known him, but each of my female best friends is long distance now due to life circumstances, so that probably also plays into it. If I ever start to think I'm taking him for granted because I don't feel some deep, striking sense of love, I feel it at the edges, as I call it. Where does it end? Are there any holes? The easiest way to describe it is I think of leaving him. In these imagined scenarios, I immediately feel sick to my stomach because why would I do that? The idea of hurting him makes me want to vomit, and it would be incredibly self-sabotaging as well. So then I'm like, well, phew. There's my deep, striking feeling of total revulsion at the idea of ending this relationship, which shows me the love is still there and just as solid. I've just gone a bit blind to it in the daily routine and comfort, like when you eat too much of your favorite snack at once and can't taste it anymore. This whole ramble probably doesn't make sense or might even sound cruel to the people commenting about how they see their partners and want to feel excited every time. But I think there are probably quite a few people in long-term relationships who feel this way. Story 67. I was thinking about this the other day. I've been with my husband for 13 years, and I still get excited to see him after work. I rush home to see him. I never tire of being around him and don't feel the need for a break from him. His presence makes me happy and safe. When he's not with me, I find myself texting him to share my experiences because I wish he was there. He truly is the love of my life. I can't imagine this life without him. Story 68. I still feel nervous around her and hope she likes me. When she travels, I feel a little emotional when I see her again. We have been married for over a decade. Story 69. When I find myself smiling at the little things he does, even after 12 years, like how he still leaves notes on my coffee mug every morning, or how he remembers to record my favorite shows when I am working late. It's not the grand gestures anymore. It's the understanding that no one else would appreciate my strange habits quite like he does. Story 70. He is still the first person I think about whenever something interesting or funny happens. If he isn't around, he is the person I want to tell everything to immediately. I miss him when he is not near, and I never get tired of spending time with him. He is my favorite person, We connect on a level no one else can. I always feel so lucky to have him. Before we met, I never felt understood or seen like I do with him, and I didn't even realize it was something I was missing. Story 71. He still gives me butterflies after 20 years. Sometimes when I am out and about, something will remind me of a silly inside joke or reference, and I cannot wait to get home and tell him. Story 72. The thought of leaving my partner genuinely makes me feel physically sick. I cannot imagine even a single day of my life without him, let alone a life together. No wonder no argument of ours has ever lasted more than 24 hours. Story 73. Because we are still perfect for each other. Because we still bring joy to one another. If I could go back in time and change some things in my life, I would still ensure that I met her. Story 74. My husband texted me on his way home from work yesterday to ask if I wanted my favorite drink from Starbucks. I told him I would rather have the extra time with him instead of the time it would take to stop for a drink. We have been together for almost 18 years. Story 75. Despite working from home and seeing her often, I would still rather spend my time with her than anyone else. She continues to make me laugh, and we have fun together. Story 76. He is the first person I want to share everything with, whether it is good, bad, or unpleasant, and he always wants to listen. Story 77. I still go after that peach every time it walks by. He is the first person I turn to if I am having a hard time or need help solving a problem. Story 78. I read something recently that really resonated with me. Love isn't just an emotion, it's a choice. When you are with the person you love, I truly believe that feelings of love can fluctuate, but choosing to love them is what makes love endure. Story 79. It has been over 5 years since my wife of 26 years passed away. I still talk to her every day and miss her dearly. She was the most incredible person I have ever met in my life. Story 80. I have been with my husband for 15 years. It's no longer about butterflies. It's about how my day feels incomplete until I tell him about the ridiculous things that happened at work, or how I still find myself buying his favorite snacks without thinking about it. Story 81. You need to consider the value you bring to each other's lives. If my partner enhances my life and I enhance theirs, it is worthwhile to stay together and nurture the love when possible. Love is significant, but it is not sufficient on its own. It cannot sustain an unbalanced or unrewarding life together. Love can diminish in the face of neglect, like when one person is always responsible for washing the dirty dishes. Story 82. Because I am happier when he is around. I look up and see him looking at me with a smile, and I know he has caught me smiling at him before. When I come across something funny or cute online, I immediately want to share it with him. Story 83. For anyone in long-term relationships, we know there are times when you feel like roommates or friends. However, if you truly love another person, you will have the mental strength to change how both of you feel. Making things work and desperately holding onto what was once a fulfilling relationship are two different things. It is up to us to recognize the difference and accept it when it happens. Story 84. He still grabs my hand each time we cross the street, and I never fail to feel butterflies from it. Story 85. My marriage ended when I realized I did not want to change myself to improve the relationship. Turns out she felt the same way, and we have been able to navigate the divorce with few issues. Story 86. After 7 years, I keep discovering new things about him that I love. I was attracted to him and had a huge crush when we first met, but the love we have grown and created together feels even more amazing. I am happy to see him every single day. I have been with people for much shorter amounts of time in the past and ended up feeling bored and unhappy, but my current boyfriend is different. He is nicer and more patient. Even when he has a rough day, he can take a breath, and we figure it out together. We have been through so much and choose to keep loving each other through it all. When you find that right person, everything feels easier, even during hard times. Story 87. I stare at him often, and when I do, I feel a dizzy sensation in my head. It's not a bad feeling. It's euphoric. After 6 years, he still makes my heart flutter. The way he looks at me, touches my skin, laughs with me about silly things, comforts me when I'm sad. reassures me, and whispers in my ear makes me melt. I love him so much, and I wouldn't want that with anyone else. Story 88. It's been 6 years, and whenever I look at him, my heart beats faster. Whenever we kiss, I still get butterflies in my stomach. When he leaves for 10 minutes and the house is quiet, I miss all the noises he makes. When we cuddle, I can feel my whole body relax in the safety of his arms. We are getting married in about 60 days, and I've never felt more secure in any decision in my life. Story 89. Thinking about the other person and smiling. Knowing they are home waiting for you after a rough day of work can make your day significantly better. Story 90. We have been together for over 5 years. Life gets busy for both of us with work, taking care of the dogs, maintaining friendships, and a whole slew of other things that subtract from one-on-one time. Last night, we went to a concert together that just was not our vibe. So, we decided to drive home early, change into comfy sweats, get high, and watch the pilot of Pokemon while lying in each other's arms in our golden retriever's dog bed. We were laughing nonstop, and I couldn't help but keep looking at her smiling. I said this when I proposed to her, and I said it again last night. If anything were to happen to us, I would be more devastated to lose my best friend than anything. Story 91. Forward trajectory. Are you both growing as individuals? That personal growth fuels your relationship as a couple. If I had remained the same person I was when we started dating, we might not still be together. The same applies to her. We both look forward to sitting in our backyard, having a fire, and talking on Saturdays, rather than watching television. I am excited to share experiences with her. Relationships should mature, and if you are fortunate, you grow together. It involves mostly a lot of luck and a little wisdom. Story 92. Every time I wake up next to my husband, it's the most beautiful thing I can see. In the evening, I always look forward to going to bed together. And if I haven't seen him after a day at work, I'm as happy as a puppy. I still have butterflies in my stomach. Story 93. We express our love for each other often, so I don't think we'll ever question it. We share what we appreciate about each other as it comes to us. We're never too cool to be open and sincere about our feelings. It's not just what she says. The way her face lights up and her voice sings leaves no doubt about how she feels. Story 94. I'm not in love. The hormonal reaction fades and you don't have to feel bad about it. What's left is the relationship you built beforehand, and you can either nurture it into a loving relationship with effort and self-growth, or you can make it unpleasant. Story 95. We have been together for 20 years, and I want to spend time with him because I enjoy his company. I am incredibly attracted to him. I miss him if we are apart for any length of time. He makes my days better. Feels the same as at the start, but better. Story 96. Her smile still makes my heart skip a beat, and she is the first person I want to share any news with. In every decision I make, I think about how it would make her happy and what I can do to bring a smile to her face. Overall, I love loving her and making her happy. Story 97. Texts from him still make my heart flutter. I find it harder to fall asleep when he is not sleeping next to me. Familiar things feel less familiar when he is not around, and the same things feel much better when he is. Story 98. I was once told that love is like a river. It starts out fast, strong, and fun, but eventually becomes slower, wider, deeper, and steadier. Story 99. For me, love was a choice I made. My wife was very patient during our early dating life because love is a choice, and I did not make it lightly. Even now, 21 years later, I always try to treat her as if we are still dating. We have children, jobs, and dogs, but I am always interested in her and her day. Discovering new information will never grow old for me. People comment that we always look like we are having fun, and I can truly say we are having fun. I wake up every day and make the same choice. Story 100. Priority. If he or she considers your need to be the highest priority, then yes. If he or she cannot accommodate it, an immediate response explaining why is sufficient. Story 101. It doesn't cross my mind otherwise. I look forward to seeing him all the time, even when I want to be alone. I still want to see him. Story 102. Whenever I see his car in the driveway after a long day of work, I get very excited to see him. I love sharing parts of my day with him, hearing him share his day with me, or whatever interests he has. I just can't get enough of him. We have been together for 7 years, and it still feels like we are in our honeymoon phase. Of course, times have been tough, and we have had our disagreements, but we are still so madly in love. It's kind of crazy. Story 103. A better question is, how do you not know? If it's real, you won't have to question it. You will feel it unprompted without even trying. It will be involuntary. Story 104. When I am working in my office on weekends or weekdays, he walks in and either hugs me or observes what I am doing. Story 105. My favorite thing is coming home and seeing him after a long day. I recently had a terrible day. I woke up late, had a flat tire, got pulled over, experienced chaos at work, and cried in the bathroom. It was the worst day, and all I could think about was coming home and being with him. As soon as I did, my mood changed completely. I also spend my days off just waiting for him to get home like a puppy. Story 106. I enjoy alone time, so it's not about constantly wanting to be together. The honeymoon phase does fade, and sometimes he drives me crazy, but nothing makes me feel sadder than the thought of waking up tomorrow without him by my side. Story 107. I have been with him for almost a decade and married for about a year. He is my best friend, and love is different for everyone. But I know I cannot imagine my life without him. I cannot go to sleep without him next to me. I hope I always find him, in every timeline and in every universe. I hope I never stop feeling this way about him. Story 108. The ones who said you just feel it or know are right, but I often get reminded too. We're on vacation, and my oldest daughter likes to set leprechaun traps the night before St. Patrick's Day. I had forgotten, and I think my daughter had too, but my wife hadn't. She was putting our youngest to sleep in another room. After she was asleep, she texted me asking if the oldest was asleep. I said yes. She quietly came into the room, scattered a bunch of chocolate gold coins around, and left. I was sitting there confused until I remembered what day it was. There will be those little moments when you tell yourself, I love them. Sometimes it can be specific to the stage of life you're in. For her, I love the mom that she is to our 2 daughters. Story 109. Yes, love is a verb. After 20 years, I still love my husband, even when neither of us is at our best. I make an effort to show care and affection. I rise to meet him with hugs and kisses when he walks through the door. I act happy to see him, even if I'm not feeling it that day. I always ask about his day. I bring him tea after an argument. We may not be speaking much, but the gesture communicates that I love him and support him, even when I'm upset. We aren't perfect, but we are strong. When you treat love as an action, it reflects back onto you. This has been my recipe for long-term happiness. Story 110. When someone is in a bad mood, is your immediate reaction to feel slightly annoyed and want to avoid them? Or do you want to help in any way you can? When something happens to you and you have a story to tell, do you immediately think of them as the first person you want to share it with? Does physical contact with them feel like a chore? Or is it something you truly enjoy? Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.